Welcome everybody to another video, another YouTube video. Today's video is going to be Q&A video, and I'm going to be doing those, fingers crossed, weekly. I want to make this a priority, not only answering questions about myself, but also answering questions about my situation. How did I become single? How did I left with 6 kids? What am I doing right now? What are my plans? How am I feeling my family? How am I budgeting? What about relationships? Any kind of questions you've got, I'm going to try to help to answer them for you and maybe help some of you, maybe guide you in the right direction. I don't really know. I'm just going with the flow. So I thought I'm going to be recording those. Now, I've asked over on TikTok that I'm going to be making this Q&A, and I ask lots of you to send me questions. And may I say, I received a good amount of questions. Some of them was like 10 questions in one question. But I'm going to be answering them for you. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea. I've got here a cup of coffee with me and also Polish kubuś because my throat gets dry when I talk. But I'm making these videos over here on YouTube because TikTok's got only 10 minutes. It doesn't have any more. Here I can even talk for an hour. So fingers crossed I'm going to be able to help someone, maybe educate someone about something, or we shall see. So have a sip and I see you in a minute. All right, so let's start. The first question, which I think I'm being asked this question daily on my TikTok. I would say daily, sometimes a couple of times a day. And the question is, do your children speak Polish? Have they been to Poland? So the first question, do your children speak Polish? No, they don't. I am in UK, or I'm living here for currently for nearly 20 years. My ex-husband wasn't Polish. He was from South Africa. We spoke only English. When I came over here, I couldn't speak English at all. So I've decided to learn mostly English, because when I come over to this country, I want to be able to be fluent in this country, because I want to freely communicate and be open, being able to deal with life easier, because when you know the language, everything becomes easier. That was my priority. And then obviously giving birth to my daughter when I was 19, we just spoke English because obviously she was very little, and that's how it stayed. We kept adding kids, but because they were here, I'm not planning to ever going back to Poland. We got so comfortable speaking in English that literally English is like my first language right now. I haven't forgotten my Polish, but there is a couple of words which I haven't used in ages, which I don't even know anymore, because let's face it, if you don't speak that language, you forget it. And you want to go, darling? Go, go, go. My dog wants to go to the sun, and I'm in his way. So that's the reason. So no, my kids do not speak English. Am I regretting it? I don't know. Right now, it's sort of comfortable. Obviously, I got divorced from my ex-husband, so he's a part of kids' life in a minimal amount. So would it be easier for the kids to speak Polish as well? Yes. But would I be able to ever go back to Poland? No, until my youngest one is 18, because obviously I cannot just take my 6 kids and go back to Poland, because obviously the dad isn't Polish, which means I can't take them out of the country without his permission, and it's not like he ever agreed. So my home is UK. Like I said, I've been here for nearly 20 years, and it's my home. When I'm going over there, it seems like holiday. So there you go. That's the question answered. Now the other one, have they been to Poland? Now 2 of my first kids, which then, I mean, one is a young adult, she's 18, and the other one is 13, soon to be 14. They've been to Poland quite a few times. But then from my third child, which is nearly 8 years old, and the little ones, they haven't. Why? Because we had a couple of situations going on when my son was born. My ex-husband had accident, so then we couldn't travel anywhere. Then we had one kid, then we had the other one. It became a bit more difficult because they were still babies. We didn't want to travel. And then we've added 2 extra ones. Then I got divorced, and now being a single parent, paying for 7 flight tickets, which is 6 kids and an adult, it's something that currently is not in my budget. Also, traveling with a baby and a toddler and a children and young adults isn't something that I want to do it right now. So the only time I will travel is around UK, which I'm planning to do very soon. But right now it's a no abroad, but anything in here in UK, it's a yes. First, how did you end up in UK, and where did you live before? How was it for you? Was it difficult? So how did I end up in UK? So my sister and my, at the time, guy that I was knowing came over here. they worked here. So I thought for summer holiday, just to earn extra money, I'm going to come over to my sister. So I did. And literally within a month or 2 months of coming over here, I got with my ex-husband, and the rest is history. Then a couple of months later, I got pregnant at the age of 18. At the age of 19, I gave birth, and I literally stay here. This is my home. I started working here. I went to college because I wanted to, have sort of equivalent level of Polish education into English education. So I also went here to college. I went to job. We had kids together, and that's where I came. So the main reason why I came over here is because my sister was over here, and I just wanted to earn an extra little bit of money as I was on summer holidays. Next one, was it hard when you first came to UK to get used to school and learn the language? Yes, it was extremely hard, especially that I was only 18 years old. I met my ex-husband. He wasn't as supportive. When I wasn't able to speak English and stuff, let's say, and I have to call somewhere, he wasn't offering the help. He was quite, you have to learn, you have to learn, you have to learn, which right now I can see that he was pushing me in a sense of that I have to learn, but at the time was extremely stressful, extremely nerve-wracking, because imagine not only I was pregnant at the age of 18, but also I wasn't able to communicate about it because I didn't know what am I going to do. So maybe not teaching my kids Polish and only English, it could have been some kind of trauma response, because I wanted them to make sure that they never struggle of communication, because I always did. So maybe subconsciously I did that as well on purpose. I don't even know. But no, it wasn't easy. Looking back at my life, I would never relive it. I would never be in a situation that I was, because I went through a lot, which I've never discussed it. But obviously, I always said I want to write a book about my life one day, like an autobiography, because what I went through and what I've experienced, it wasn't pleasant. It's not like I lost a lot of people in my life because I didn't have a lot of death. But when it comes to my personal growth and things that I dealt with, was a lot. So I hope, this answers your question. Next one, how did your parents react when you got pregnant so young? Honestly, nothing. I don't think I even told my parents till a little bit later, or when I gave birth. They came over when my little one was 1 year old, but the response that I got from my parents wasn't as supportive. They weren't encouraging. They weren't engaging with my child. So that became sort of like, nah, it wasn't what I was expecting. My mom, she had 6 kids herself, so she was probably exhausted of, just finishing with kids and growing them up. And now so quickly I became to have my own kid. So probably she was at a stage where, she doesn't want to deal as much with kids. So she needed that mental break, if you know what I mean. I always said that if I will have to become a grandmother now, because let's say my eldest one is 18, if I will have to become a grandmother now, I don't know what kind of grandmother would I have been, because I am emotionally not able to give any more support or help or anything towards another little human being, because I am emotionally drained from having 6 kids and dealing with everything myself. So I understand now my mom, how she was when the minute she grown her own kids, I came here with a baby, and she was probably like, hell no, I don't want to see the baby, I want break, I don't want to deal with it. So now at my age, I sort of understand how she felt. So I am not really sure, sometimes you have to go through the experience to be able to sort of put yourself in the shoes and experience and sort of realize how this is going to make you feel. Right now it's a no, but then again, if that would have happened, obviously I wouldn't say get out and go. I would be as much involved as possible, but I would find it definitely a challenging experience. Next one is, what jobs did you did in UK? I honestly did all sorts of work. Nothing ever sticked. I am a Gemini. I move on quite quickly from things that no longer serve me. When I came to UK, the first jobs what I did was factory work. A, because I couldn't speak English. B, because I was very young. So I was looking for any kind of jobs just to bring money. So I did all sorts of factory work, packing work with fresh fruits and stuff. I did some waitressing job, and then one job that I was sort of proud of getting it was an office job, because my mom, she always said, if you work in the office, you're always gonna be well paid and you don't have to work as hard. So I was sort of priding myself from getting an office job, and finally when I got it, I was like, yes, I did what my mom told me to do. I've worked there for like nearly 2 years as an accounts administrator, and that was the most boring job I ever did. And I was like, something is not right, because my mom, she told me I will love this job and it will be the best job I ever got. And I literally hated it. And within 2 years, I got pregnant after, and I've never went back, because I'm like, this is the worst job I ever did. I also did the domiciliary care, which I enjoyed for the first couple of months, but then it became hard because the COVID hit as well. And I was like, no, I'm done. I definitely pulled out a lot of experience from that jobs, but would I do them again? Definitely not. Then another one, does the weather in UK bother you, and would you ever live in another country? No, the weather doesn't bother me anymore. I sort of came to peace and understanding that at the end of the day, weather is the weather. Okay, Poland's got a pretty lovely weather because we've got proper summers, we've got proper winters. So I definitely enjoyed Polish weather, but here again, it really doesn't bother me at all. As long as you've got proper wellies and proper raincoat, you can walk in the rain no matter what. The same my kids. I used to struggle because I had a different mindset. I used to hate rain. I used to hate carrying umbrella, but now I love it. I absolutely love it. Again, right raincoat, right wellies, and you are off. And there is no stopping you. And I sort of believe that the rain is needed, the sun is needed. So why are we complaining? Enjoy the seasons, enjoy the different weathers, and you're gonna be more than fine. Next one, do you work other than taking care of your children? This is a job on its own. Yes, it is a job on its own, especially dealing with 6 children. I treat this as job, but honestly, I would love to answer this question and dig a little bit deeper, and probably one day I will. The only thing I'm going to tell you currently that my job is, let's say, is a social media. That's what I'm going to say. And the only reason why I'm saying this right now, and I'm not talking a lot about work, I've never mentioned anything about what am I doing or what's going on in my life as a single mother. Why? Because I'm precautioning myself when it comes to, is my ex-husband watching these videos or TikTok exactly the same, because sometimes I think he does, and if he does, he can pull out some informations and, you know, sort of create his own story and, you know, start any kind of thing happening, and I don't want that. So as much as I would love to answer these questions, anything that regards money or job, currently I won't. Unless I am financially stable to this extent that it no longer bothers me what he says or what he thinks. So I hope that's okay. But one day, believe me, you will all know. Next one, do you think your ex misses your cooking, baking? Your food always looks so good. I hope he does. I don't really know. You know, I don't sit in his head. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know how he feels. I don't know if his partner is cooking for him or baking for him. I don't really know. I am no longer interested what's happening in his life. I no longer care. You know, as bluntly as I can say it, I no longer care. Did I used to cook with him all the time? Yes. Did I used to cook 7 days a week? No. I probably used to cook 5 days a week, because most of the time on Friday we had sort of bits and bobs, and sometimes once a week we've ordered takeaway and stuff. But again, I was still cooking. Now I'm sort of a bit more experimental about it as well, which makes it a bit more nicer. Did I bake with him? Yes. I haven't baked as much as now, but I also baked. So I don't know. You will have to ask him that. But hell no, I think if I would be the one who, let's say I will have a husband who constantly cook for me and one day I would leave him, I would definitely miss. But will he? I don't know. What's your go-to comfort food from Poland or the UK? From Poland, my comfort food is a pizza place. It's called, what was it called? Frazes. It's called Frazes. It's a pizza place, pizza shop. And it has the most incredible pizzas and incredible kebabs and like the potato pancakes with the stew, you know, like placki ziemniaczane and bigos. The most beautiful food ever. And that was still when I was like, you know, leaving UK. And then when I still was traveling with my ex-husband and the kids to visit Poland, they still had the place. I'm not sure if they still have it, but I could go and eat there daily. There's literally like a home-cooked food on your plate. And so does the pizzas. It's literally like pure Italian pizza. Absolutely amazing. I told the kids that if ever I go and take all of them, so we go there 7 people, I will go there the first thing. I will arrive at the airport And maybe before I go to my parents or before I go to a hotel, I will go and eat pizza over there because it's the most delicious thing ever. And in UK, I know it's not UK food, but I love Chinese. I could eat Chinese every single day. And if I would have more of a budget to get a bigger portion of Chinese, I would, like a mukbang and stuff, because oh my God, my mouth is just salivating as I'm thinking about Chinese. I love chow mein, I love prawns, I love curries. Oh my God, it's amazing. Those are my two sort of foods where I adore. Next one, if you had one full week to yourself, what would you do? Hell, go on holiday. I will go on holiday. If I would have the money, probably I would go to some kind of retreat, probably a Bali or something to do with healing and stuff, because I'm all into it right now, and just chill there, stay there maybe for a week, maybe for days, for a couple of days. You know, the sort of place where you don't allow your mobile phone, you don't allow your anything, you are just in touch with nature, with the sea, with the outdoor space, and you just do nothing. You know, I would then go on holiday tomorrow if I could. So yeah, that's definitely it. And maybe book a spa. Yeah, if we're dreaming, why not? What was the reason for moving to the UK? Sorry, I've already answered. Yes. So again, my sister came over here and I wanted to earn money as a student, as a young kid. And I came over here, and then obviously I met my ex-husband, and then I fell pregnant, and then I stayed. What was the hardest part about moving from Poland to UK, and do you visit Poland? Or are all family in UK? So what was the hardest part about moving from Poland to UK? Well, there wasn't at the beginning, because it seems like, you know, you are a young teenager or a young adult, shall I say, because I was 18. It all seemed exciting, but then obviously as you already stayed and, you know, you were sort of hit with life, like, oh my God, so I gotta pay the bills. Oh my God, I've got no driving license. Oh my God, I have to go to job, and that's happening daily. And then I was like, what the fuck have I done? You know, that sort of realization of life hit my face, and I was like, so this is how it's going to be from now on. I would say that was the most hardest part. And then obviously knowing that you're already pregnant and you can't go back. You can't just go back. So that sort of took me a lot to, it helped me grow up, shall I say. That's what I should actually say. It helped me grow up. Not in the most peaceful way, but in a sort of like slap on the face kind of thing, where there was no going back. I couldn't do anything about it, so I just had to make, you know, my life out of it, and I did. Again, if I will have to do it again, would you? Hell no. But it made me who I am now, which is very strong, very resilient, very, you know, independent person. So yeah, that was sort of the hardest part. Yeah, sort of leaving my parents behind, leaving the sort of safety nest that I had, and then arriving here thinking that all is sunshine and flowers. Yet in fact was the most hard and challenging and difficult experience of my life. And then, do you visit Poland? I used to visit Poland all the time, as I've mentioned, but now as I've got 6 kids and I am, you know, alone with the kids, I haven't been there since the last, I would say, 9 years. I've been just before I got pregnant with my child number 3, and he's 8, he's gonna be 9 next year. So yeah, between 8 years I haven't been in Poland, and I'm not sure when's gonna be the next time I'm gonna go. I don't really know. I would love to though, but you know, we're just waiting for the right moment. Oh, next one. What's one piece of advice you would give to a new single mom? What advice would I give to newly single mom? Obviously, when you become newly single mom, you are probably divorced or you've separated. The only thing I can tell you is focus on you, focus on your kid, and focus on healing. Don't try to rush. Don't try to jump into new relationship. Feel your emotions. Go through the grieving process. Find yourself out, and then maybe move on and, you know, restart your life again. But the only thing I can say is that don't rush. Process everything that needs processing, because if you don't, unfortunately, you're gonna wish you would be still back with your ex-husband. You're still gonna sort of think about him. you'll be sort of tied to him as well because you feel like you are still one and you still love him and you can't move on. And just try to sort of process your emotions. I would say that's the main goal. Process your emotion, process the grieving, focus on you, focus on your child, and take day by day. There is no need to rush. There is no need to be any place that you are than you are here. Just take your time. Healing takes time, and unfortunately some people rush, some people move on to the next relationship, and then somehow a couple of months later they're like, how the hell I'm in exactly the same relationship that I just left? Why? Because if you're broken, you attract broken, and unfortunately we attract who we are. And most of the time when you leave a relationship, you're in sort of vulnerable space where the minute someone offers you some kind of luck, some kind of love, because you were starved from it for such a long time when you were married, you just, grab into it like, I don't know, a bear on a honey, and you just go with it. And then most of the time it's just people preying on your kindness and your goodness and your generosity. And that's how you end up in another toxic relationship. So take the time, focus on you, find yourself, maybe make yourself financially stable before you go and give that love away to somebody else. But, that's just my advice. Is there something about Polish culture or lifestyle that wish people in the UK understand better? I think the only thing or major thing that I've noticed from living here and seeing that sort of kids hit the age of 18 and they just go. They just go. They don't want to live with you anymore. They don't want to be here anymore. Maybe you are fed up and you just tell them to leave, to go find your, own place and pay for your own stuff. I don't understand that. Like, okay, I left my house when I was 18, but like my sisters and stuff, most of them, they lived there with my parents till they were 40, till they were in the deep 20s, before they settled financially, before they found their boyfriend, and they went and got married and then they left. But here is sort of this weird, bizarre thing that some kids are leaving at 18, some kids are even leaving at 16. Like, what is that all about? How can you just leave and let your child go 18? I make that conscious decision of leaving. But honestly, if I can't imagine my 18-year-old telling me she's leaving, because for me, she still seems like a kid. So I don't really know. But this I found odd and bizarre. Unless you've got sort of toxic environment where you want to leave, then yeah, probably like me, at the age of 18, I just wanted to go. But if you don't, why? I don't get it. I don't know. But by us, it's sort of normal of children staying far beyond 18 with the parents and living with them until they sort of get financially stable or meet somebody else. So what's something about you people would surprise to learn? And I skimmed through the questions earlier and I was like, oh, maybe there's a question that I don't want to answer. And that question stood out about me. And I was like, what is something about me that people would be surprised to learn? And I'm like, I don't really know. And I was like sitting contemplating here about this question. And I'm like, I don't really know if there's anything besides the only thing I can think about is like if you don't know me, people used to say, not anymore, but wherever I worked, wherever I went, people used to say about me that I've got a resting bitch face. That's what they used to say, that if I don't smile or I don't talk or I don't interact in any kind of way, people think I'm angry. My kids sometimes think like, Mommy, are you angry? And I'm like, no, I'm just sitting, I'm just focusing on, And that's the only thing that people sometimes assume that I am like angry all the time because I've got this sort of like resting, what they call bitch face. But the minute I talk to them or interact, they're like, oh, you're actually really nice. And I'm like, why would you think I'm not? And they're like, no, you just look like you're very serious. And I'm like, hell no, I'm far from serious. But this is just what I've got. I think I've got my dad's face. When he used to be like in a zone or driving or being serious, people used to be afraid of him. And I think I've inherited this sort of look. And people think that they don't want to maybe approach me. They don't know what's happening. But in fact, I'm really outgoing, cheery, happy, crazy person. I'm a Gemini. So, my kids always say, Mommy, you're so crazy. And I'm like, thank you. I take this as a compliment because I feel extremely young in myself. I'm 37 currently. And I just feel like, my God, I feel so young that my age doesn't actually reflect the way I feel on the inside. So maybe this is the only thing that I would say people assume or think about me. You let me know. Then how would your friends describe you in 3 words? Hardworking, funny or crazy, I would say, and very organized, I would say. Because, what I said the first one? What I said the first one? Hardworking. I mean, I've got 6 kids, and I do everything for them and for myself. If something goes wrong, I am the one who's going to be dealing with it. Like, I don't need anybody to help me. That could be also a trauma response, but you know, this is who I am. Like, I like to take care of my own things. Funny, crazy. I will literally make you laugh no matter what. I am extremely goofy. Like I've mentioned, I am young in my mind, and that's sometimes how I react with it. And sometimes when I'm in a shop and I goof around with the kids, they're like, "Mommy, stop it." Like, we are here to embarrass our kids, aren't we? So I'm very funny. And then, what was the next one? And what was the last one? Hardworking, funny, crazy, and organized. Again, 6 kids, have to be organized, because unless the house will go to, you know, I don't know, the house won't be existent anymore. I have to be organized. I have to be on the routine, on the schedule with the kids, because otherwise they would have no clue what's going on. I like my things in a specific order, in a specific way, because then I'm not confused of where things are. So I would say those are those 3 things that maybe my friends will think about me. I don't really know, but if not, then, you know, whatever. And then lastly, what's the most rewarding thing about being a mom of 6? Oh my God, I love being a mom of larger family. I love that I will be never bored. I need to be busy with my hands. I'm a Gemini. I'm sort of outdoor, quick, paced, busy person. I don't like to just sit still unless I'm tired and unless I need the break. But other than that, I like to be on the go. I like to work. I like to do things. And having a larger family, we are never bored. We are never quiet. There is always something. Kids are they're just loving. Yeah, okay, sometimes teenagers can be a pain in the butt. Sometimes toddlers are like, ugh. But you know, we've got those days where everything seems to be worth it, and it feels like this is just beautiful. Or when they come and have a cuddle and they show you the love, you are like, this is what I came to be, and this is what I came to do. It's beautiful. I love it. And then when we go for a walk or drive somewhere, there is never silence. There is always someone's talking. There is always someone that's got something interesting to say. I love it. I love being a mom of multiple kids, because it adds another layer of everything, shall I say. So yeah, I would never change that. I know it's sometimes tricky, especially being a lone mom, but I would never swap it for the entire world. And then last and final question is, and your tattoos, do they have any meanings? Yes, every single tattoo on my skin has been placed there because there was a meaning to it. Just a few of them. I've got my kids' names, like here. I've got 3 of them, Max, Holly, and Jake. Here is my second one, Amy. Here I've got Jessica, which is my first one. And then over here, I've got Lizzie. Surprisingly enough, she was my 6th child. I knew I don't want it anymore. My marriage was falling apart. And surprisingly enough, I placed her in a reef. Like, I've completed the cycle and she's in the middle as a last child. And now thinking about it, like subconsciously, I created this tattoo as she's my last one, as a, you know, celebrating the last one. It's a complete cycle of my life. So those are those tattoos. And then I've got number 44, which I've mentioned in my TikTok as well, that the reason why I've got this tattoo, because once, a couple of years ago, I had a dream. When I was still married, I had a dream. It wasn't like a horror dream, like a sort of very, very scary dream, but it was sort of nerve-wracking dream where I felt like I was worried in a dream and I was like a little bit scared, but it wasn't like horrifying, you know? And in that dream, I was hiding and someone told me, whoever it was in the dream told me, just get to a door number 44 and you will be safe. That's what someone told me. And the minute I woke up, the dreams seemed extremely vivid, and it just stuck with me. It just sort of registered myself in my head for someone telling me, just get to the door number 44 and you will be safe. And from that moment, the dream sort of resonated with me, and I trust and believe that I don't know, is it number 44 as the 44 my age I'm going to be safe, or that 44 means that the angels are with you and they will always protect you? I don't know what it came to be, but it gave me such a sense of peace and calmness, that everything's going to be okay because they have my back. And obviously, you know, a couple of years later, or 2 years or whatever later, I don't even remember, my marriage has fallen apart and I became alone, independent mom with 6 kids. So I sort of trust and believe that they wanted to tell me that they always have my back. I always will be provided. They are always with me, and no matter what's happening in my life, I'm safe. Then another one is over here, which it says, love yourself. I struggle with, loving myself from my younghood till a teenager to adulthood. I sort of struggle to punish my body, punish my mind, and sort of I realized, you know what? I've got this one body given by God to me, one body to come and live here on earth. I should respect it. I should love it. I should cherish it. I should protect it. So I promised myself that I just have to love myself no matter what's happening. Give your body the best things that you can ask for, and your body will reward you. So that's what I did. I just wanted to daily remind myself to love myself, to honor myself, and be kind to myself in exactly the same way people are kind to you. Then what I've got here all my chakras. I know, can you see all my chakras here? Because I think I'm extremely spiritually connected, and I just want to remind myself that, we need the alignment, and, the chakras that are in us are all part of our body, and sometimes our body can show us where things are holding us back. And I just wanted to have the tattoo of all my chakras placed on my body. So one day, if let's say my back is hurting, I can know that my root chakra needs the support of safety and calmness. And then obviously the color of the chakra, let's say the root chakra is red. So you can always help out your chakra by dressing in red clothing, by eating red fruit or veg, this sort of thing. So you sort of connect your spiritual to your physical body, and then it helps you heal, should I say. And then I've got on my leg, I've got tattoo say never a failure, always a lesson, because that's true. There is never a failure. There is always a lesson in it. The faster you learn the lesson, the faster everything will be okay. And then I've got another one here saying the past is your lesson, the present is your gift, and the future is your motivation. Again, true words in itself. Just learn from what you did in the past, treat today as your gift, because you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow, and then pull out the future is your motivation. Do whatever you can to create the future that you want. And then obviously I've got tattoo on my back, which is also sort of representation of the way the cycle goes. I've got a little butterfly on my back. I would say I've got sort of 17 tattoos on my body, and I would like some more, but obviously this is out of my budget currently. Right now I'm focusing on healing. I'm focusing on sort of sessions like spinal energetics. I used to go on Reiki a lot. Now I'm going for spinal energetics, which again heals you from like trauma and things that you went through your life, from your limited beliefs. And yeah, I may not be allowing myself always to splurge on some clothing and stuff, but my mind comes first, because obviously being an independent mom of 6 and have to deal with everything on my own sometimes can take its toll on your mental health. And for me, mental health is a priority. It has to be mental first, then the physical, which is your body, exercising, eating healthy, and then it's like clothings and holidays and stuff. And when the time is right, I will be able to incorporate those 3, which is the physical, mental, and then like clothing and splurges on myself into the routine that I've got. But right now, I want to make myself as healthy and as spiritually aligned to be the best mom possible for my kids. And that's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's it. I don't know if there's anything else that you want me to add to it, but I hope I've answered those questions to as best ability as I can. Send over any more questions under this video, and I will post another video on TikTok in regards to what you want me to answer next. Again, could be anything, could be with budgeting, could be with, let's say you've got a boyfriend or husband and he does something. Am I agreeing with this? Did I ever came across it? Don't be shy. Just, you know, I can always advise, and you can take the advice or you may not. It's up to you. But I'm glad, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too rushed. Sometimes I think like the way I speak is a bit too fast, and then I am sort of my mouth works slower than my brain, and then I think like, Jesus, it seems like I literally rushed through the questions. I'm not sure if even people will understand what I'm saying, but I hope you will. So give me a comment on how I did. If you enjoyed this video and you want any more of those videos, comment, like, and share it with your friends. And yeah, I will see you in the next one, fingers crossed, next week, Saturday or Sunday. So have a good one, guys, and enjoy. Bye. Love you.